Hey there, Mike Verno here with Rhino Machinery. And today we have Allan O'Neil, a 23-year veteran with Caterpillar. He's been a service technician for 23 years. Prior to that, he spent 15 years in the Army doing special projects, special experimental projects with tanks and General Dynamics. Today he's going to show us how to properly take oil samples. Thanks so much for being with us today, Allan.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Got a couple of questions for you before we get into the actual technique of taking oil samples. And that would be first, how important is it to take fluid samples at regular PM intervals?
It's pretty important. Whenever you take samples, it gives you an idea of what the lifespan of that particular component is. If it's hydraulics, transmission, final drives, or engines, it's really, really good deal to do.
Awesome. So why is it important to get a clean sample?
You want to get a clean sample because it's always better to have a clean sample. If you have anything dirty, well, then it's not going to give you a good reading on what's in that oil, any debris or anything like that.
So you get a false reading.
Yes.
Gotcha. So what are the two methods of getting fluid?
Okay, you've got the probe method, which is use off of pressure, off the component that you're wanting, or the engine, anything you want. And then you also have a vacuum type, which you use a pump to vacuum the oil out of that component.
Gotcha. So I'm barraging you with some questions before we go out into the field, but one of the questions that is often asked, and there seems to be some confusion about, is can you take samples from like an old pan drain plug stream or a waste oil container or even the filter?
I would recommend it if you can. If there's a probe, take it that way. But you can take it out of the oil pan. And sometimes that's even better because you get more stuff in that oil pan, like debris, if it passes the fuel filters, the engine oil filters or anything like that. But myself, I would, if you could, get it out of a probe.
Perfect. Well, and we just were talking about different machines and where to find the ports or the places that we would pull the samples. And I thought I'd ask you to walk around this excavator and just show us where we would find those spots.
The excavator is pretty much the same thing, but this one doesn't have a transmission. It has a pump with final drive. So pull the final drive oils from here. It's got a drain, it's got a level, and it's got a fill spot. What you do, put this drain down here, take this plug off, and get the sample. Just get the sample out of there with a vacuum because it doesn't have a probe.
Okay.
Hey, and this particular machine, it doesn't have a probe spot, so you would take the sample out of the dipstick as like I did on that dozer. That's where you would get the sample on this one.
Is one way better than another?
No, either way is good.
Okay.
It's all the same. Pull the oil out, send it to the lab, and it's good.
Perfect.
And of course, this one also has another final drive. You do the same thing. Put the drain on the bottom, fill on the top, and then take the sample out of there. Okay, I'm going to throw this in. You asked earlier if you can put probe ports in there, and I said yes you can. What you can do, you can find you a pressure testing port, which is, if you notice, it's a little bit bigger diameter there. You unscrew this, take this out, and put a port in there, and that way you can get fluid for your pump. Not just your hydraulics, but it'll also pull fluid out of that pump.
Perfect.
Thought I'd throw
Even better test.
Thought I'd throw that in there because you asked that question.
Yep.
Let's see. This one here, I don't see a port for the hydraulic system. So you would go to the hydraulic tank, which is up here, take this plate off, and go to the fill tube and just go straight from the hydraulic tank. That's where you would get the fluid for this. Or if you really wanted to, this is your hydraulic valve here. You can take a port and put it in here. This is a pressure port. Same thing. Take a port out, put a port in there to get your hydraulics if you don't want to go up there.
Perfect. Okay.
That's
Are those interchangeable? You can just put one in and out as you want?
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Or you can, if you want to, you can just leave it in there. If it's your own machine, you can just leave it in there because it's already got. There should be another port somewhere, pressure port. But you can take it off and leave it in there, or you can put it back in.
Gotcha. Okay.
Pretty simple.
Awesome.
I hope that helps.
It does. So Alan's going to walk us around wheel loaders and show us all the places that we need to pull fluids from there.
Okay, this is a wheel loader. As you can see, it's got axles. So you can't really see it, but where you would take a sample, there's a fill plug right there on these axles. That you would use a hose and the vacuum pump. That'd be one way. And sometimes these axles will have a pressure port that you can put them in. Not all the time, but sometimes. And then you open this up. I'm not sure. Now this one here, I don't see a pressure port that you can use the injector in. So you would take that dipstick out, of course, and take it from there on this particular machine.
Another vacuum.
Yes.
Pump.
Another vacuum
Extraction.
pump. Exactly.
Okay.
And then the front axle is just like the rear axle. It'll have a fill port that you can take the sample on. I don't know if it's on this side or the other side. It might be on the other side.
Oh, here it is. On the top.
Yeah. You would use the vacuum pump for that. This one has a transmission. I'm really not sure where this one is at either. That's your clear fluid. I don't know if it's on the other side. But this one, it'll either have a port for your probe, or you can get it out of the fill plug or dipstick.
For the transmission, where would that be? Let's see if we can find that.
I don't know if it's on the other side. Actually, it does have a port.
Okay.
This one that's your transmission filter. It also, this particular one has a port that you can use the needle on. And if it doesn't have it, this is your transmission fill plug. Pull the dipstick out, run your vacuum tube down there, and extract the oil that way.
Okay.
So either way, you can do it on this particular machine. Not all machines have those, like I said, those needle ports. But if it doesn't have a needle port, just go straight to your fill tube or your dipstick tube.
Perfect. Okay. Well, we just want to say thank you to Alan for walking us around on the machine, showing us where to pull the fluids and how to do it right. Thanks, Alan.